Let's talk a little bit about the steel industry. If you want to come talk a little bit about that, John.
I don't know, I'm pretty shy. I'm going to fill you guys in on where I came from and where Rick Green, who's sitting in the back over there. We came from the scrap industry and the construction industry. Kind of an odd mix. But throughout the years, it's evolved into a recycling at its best. If you want to see a really green place, go to the scrapyard nearest you. You'll see a recycling that is beyond comprehension, where they'll buy a car body and use every bit of it, except for the very end of it, which is called auto residue and fluff. And that's where Jared and his people come in. Over the past probably 7-8 years, been working with different ideas, different things, plasma foam furnaces, where we have actually burned it up, recovered the gases. Well, $250 million just didn't sound real good to some of the scrap yards and the users. So we ended up going down several paths to get where we are today. And it was only because of just a simple conversation with somebody one day that I ended up over talking with Jared. Jared in the enzyme operation ended up being able to do a hydrocarbon separation on fluff and auto residue. Then to bring it to the next step, we can actually prove it with the mad scientist. We actually have documentable scientific chemical engineering proof that we can do that at a full scale, where we're talking probably 400 to 500 ton a day. Most scrap yards will produce probably 30 to 40 ton an hour, and in an 8-hour to 10-hour shift, right there we go. The sales have been kind of left up to me, and kind of promoting the engineering aspect and the separation system for about the last 6 to 8 months. Great response, particularly after the first announcement that we made back in April. When was that, Jared? April?
Yeah, beginning of
April. At that time, kind of realized that we're going to need some design engineering after talking with Jared and the mad scientist, and that's where I-beam came in. I needed help in being able to make the idea of the hydrocarbon separation into a real world. So rather than just Crazy John's idea on how to do this, now we have the mad scientist and Crazy Jared and Crazy John and kind of Rick. But we needed to be able to bring this into fruition from a actual physical design and put numbers to this. And that's where Mr. Garrett, Mr. Wong came in with I-beam and started, I don't know whether right away they understood quite what we were talking about, but they understood the concept well enough that they put enough faith in it to put time into it. And at this point in time, you haven't got a dime, nobody has gotten a dime out of this, except for the vision and being out in the market talking about the potential of the product and the process of the recovery of hydrocarbons. So now that I've had my say, I'm going to let Tim talk about bringing it from the idea into the real world with I-beam.
I'm Tim Gehrig with I-beam. We are a full design build corporation where we really focus most of our efforts nationwide. And it's kind of interesting because a lot of our background in the past has been even with the food distribution market, a lot of processing, manufacturing. And when John came to us with the solution and so forth, I mean, what we've been trying to do is start to develop the strategic plans and engineering and construction on with this type of an idea of how are we going to get these facilities, this process throughout the United States, because it's not going to be a one process type deal. And I think that was one of the things that Kurt and myself and our team at I-Beam are very excited about is the fact that when you start to look at the financial benefit along with the environmental benefit, that's where we really started to get excited about this, because it's not just a situation where you're going to go out and design and build a process and a solution to the extent that you're going to make money as a design build entity or whatever the extent is. You're also going to be providing a solution that is going to again assist the environment. You have an idea that is going to start to develop other avenues for us, as in potentially getting into other existing landfills and different things to where we can really open this thing up. So that's the things that we're working on right now with VESCOR, with John and his team, and of course here is with the fact of, okay, how do we start to establish the plan to attack this once we get a facility and a process up and running. You're going to be then establishing another facility. There's a lot of locations, and not just Midwest, even more East Coast and West Coast, where the costs are even higher. And nowadays with trucking expenses and all those things that you're dealing with, this is just to us it's a great thing to where we're really going to, with I-Beam, establish that scrap specific division to where we can focus on this with certain people, because it's going to definitely require a lot of engineering time, a lot of construction management, supervision, processing, a lot of equipment needs, a lot of things. But we've also looked at data that shows a lot of this stuff for these companies that we'd be providing this for to have under 2-year payback for their investment of what they make, and then actually creates other revenue streams for them, to where now with what we're doing and with what they're extracting, now they're not just going to the dump, now they're actually developing for themselves a product that they can sell. So so that's what we're involved with the process with John. John and I, we've been together for a lot of years, kind of involved in the back and forth in the construction market. When he came with his crazy ideas, that's where we started to actually believe a little bit of his craziness and kind of jump on board, and hopefully this thing takes off and we get moving. So that's all I've got.
Great. I appreciate it.
Thank you.